It is 8 hours 19 and you're back with us on First Look, the best part of your morning. Yes, it is in the house, and we trust that you're having a good time, very informative and so on. Remember, we told you about the SERG Foundation. Well, yes, we'll be finding out what is the SERG Foundation. They have a local chapter as well as the overseas chapter. Well, we'll be telling you a bit about what's happening from the overseas angle. And this morning we want to welcome Kester and Andrea Garraway. Now I'm certain you're wondering, all right, but they're brother and sister team.
Thank you for having us.
All right, SERG, S-E-R-G.
Yes.
What is SERG?
Well, SERG is a very, very dynamic group of young people that pretty much believe and have very high values and the fundamental principles of education. And actually, SERG is actually an acronym for Student Education Reform Group.
Oh,
and yeah.
And how long has this been established?
SERG has been incorporated for 6 years now.
6 years?
Yes, sir.
6 years from the overseas angle, or it has been 6 years here in Guyana as well?
6 years from the overseas angle. We've just introduced the organization to Guyana just over a year ago, actually.
All right. Well, tell us what has been happening since your formation in is it the U.S.?
The United States, yeah.
Right. Any particular state?
Yeah, actually, the organization was founded in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was actually founded out of a real need. It was a personal situation, personal story of mine, where I was upon graduation, went to school for mechanical engineering, and it was 2 weeks before I actually walked across the stage, was supposed to walk across the stage, and I was short $200 to complete my degree. And at that time is when I realized that there are hundreds and even thousands of children that go through that same scenario where you've done the hard work academically, and you're trying to make your family proud, as I was. And here you are about to make, change your life, graduating with education, and you're not able to move a step forward because of financial. So
because you were short $200, you weren't able to graduate?
I was not able to. I would not have been able to graduate.
You would not have been able.
And my mom is a single mom, and we scrambled for that $200, and I was able to successfully graduate. But the circumstances is very true and common for other young people, not just for graduation, but just to have a book to go to school. And I was born here in Guyana, so if that happens in the United States, I know it's happening here, where there's a need for educational supplies and for kids to have access to a great education.
So out of that, you formed this group, and so then how does the group address that kind of situation for others?
That's a great question. What we've been doing, we've been functioning in Atlanta, Georgia, we've been functioning in Charlotte, North Carolina, New York, and even Maryland, Washington, D.C. area, where my sister actually resides, and she takes hold of that angle. And what we do is we go out and we empower youth to not, one, stay in school, and also to be able to be instruments for others in the community. So, for example, recently I was on a panel talking to young men and women about the importance of not just education, but my dearest, science and engineering. There's a dire need for more African American or blacks, for example, in the States, to graduate with degrees in science and engineering. So a part of our youth empowerment series is to sit and talk to kids about what are some of the pros and cons about joining this field, about becoming an engineer. What struggles can you experience, and what are some of the good things that come from being an engineer? What is an engineer? What's all out there for me? And we sit and we talk to these young people about the opportunities and how important it is for them to make sure that they know how or who they were born to be. Don't just choose a career or just choose something because it's the hottest trend. It's important that young people choose what they want to be from an innate place.
Yes,
so that they can sustain it.
They have to recognize it and not somebody forcing it on them. But I want to bring in Andrea here. Since you started the organization, how have you helped anyone, and how do you go about helping anyone that probably would have been in the situation, like you said, need just a little bit of funds to get you through that, maybe the final part? How do you go about doing that?
Well, what we try to do is we try to empower youth, and we do it through in-class and out-of-class mentorship. So one of the recent things we have done in the States was we did a toy drive. A toy drive was intended to take to the children's hospital where the kids
A
may
toy drive?
Toy
Toy.
drive.
Okay, good.
where may not have been as fortunate to receive that. But beyond that, we do persons to persons connection. So